Pi is a personal AI assistant designed to engage in meaningful conversations and provide advice. It's an amazing tool that runs on a proprietary AI platform. It's really for having conversational and empathetic tones, making it feel like you're talking to a friend more than an AI bot. Join me as I talk with my AI buddies about Pi AI and how small business owners can take advantage of it.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the world of AI, but not just any AI.
Oh,
We're talking about personal AI,
okay.
specifically an AI called Pi.
Interesting.
And we're going to be looking at what it could mean for you as a small business owner.
I like it.
You know, we hear a lot about these AI tools that can really help you get work done.
Right. ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
ChatGPT is a great example.
Uh-huh.
But Pi is a little bit different. It's made by a company called Inflection AI.
Okay.
And they were founded by one of the folks who was behind Google's DeepMind.
Wow.
And Pi is really focused on that personal connection.
So not just about work.
Right, more like a companion almost, like in that movie, Her.
I see.
So to do this deep dive, we have a really cool YouTube video review of Pi.
Oh, fun.
It's by this creator called One Little Coder.
Okay.
And we also have a couple of articles that go into more detail about its features and how it's being used.
All right. Sounds good.
So let's jump in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So that personal aspect you mentioned, that's really what sets Pi apart.
Exactly. It's designed to have these natural conversations to build a rapport with you, almost like you're talking to a supportive friend rather than just, some kind of tool.
Right. And in that video by One Little Coder, he actually has Pi write a rap song about his channel.
No way.
I know.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Was it any good?
It was, yeah, he was genuinely surprised
Yeah.
by how well it could hold a conversation.
Yeah, Pi is built on this proprietary language model that Inflection AI developed entirely in-house.
Wow.
They didn't just use something off the shelf, they built it from the ground up.
That's impressive.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff. Do you want to hear a little snippet of that rap?
Yes, definitely. Let's hear it.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay. Pi's got bars. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm not a real person, I'm just a machine to you.
Whoa.
Catchy, right?
Yeah.
Even when it's reminding you it's an AI, it still manages to sound pretty human.
That's wild.
Yeah.
It really does have a lot of personality.
Yeah. And that ties back into why it could be so powerful, especially for small businesses.
Right. The articles that we have point to a lot of practical applications.
Oh, yeah.
You can do everything from like getting information and translating languages to generating content and managing tasks.
Really?
And even providing like a little bit of emotional support.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Especially for those tough days, as an entrepreneur.
For sure.
When you just need somebody to talk to.
Totally. So like if you're a small business owner and you're juggling a million things at once,
Yeah.
you could actually brainstorm marketing ideas with Pi.
Oh, wow.
Like bouncing things off of it,
Right.
having it draft social media posts or even website copy.
That would be a huge time saver.
I know. And it can even help with scheduling meetings,
Yeah.
setting reminders, or answering those common business questions you have.
Wow, so it's like having an extra set of hands,
Yeah. Or maybe even an extra brain.
helping you stay organized and on top of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget about that emotional support aspect.
Right. Running a business can be super stressful.
Oh, yeah.
And just having an AI that you can vent to or get encouragement from or just chat with to de-stress could be surprisingly valuable. It's like having that supportive friend who's always available.
I'm sold. I got to try this.
You should. The articles mention it's free to use.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially for, small business owners who are working with these tight budgets.
Totally. And you can access it in a bunch of different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Like through their website, an iOS app, even text messages and WhatsApp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You could be talking to Pi in minutes.
That level of accessibility is pretty impressive. But of course, with any new technology, especially AI, there are going to be some concerns.
Right.
And the articles do mention those.
Like what?
Well, some users point out that Pi's accuracy has some limitations,
Okay.
which is understandable. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still under development.
Yeah, you got to be realistic about what AI can do at this stage.
Right. It shouldn't be your only source of information for, like major decisions.
For sure.
But as a supplemental tool, it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
And then there are also the privacy concerns,
Oh, of course.
which, are always top of mind these days.
Right. Like what kind of data does it collect?
Well, like any AI, it's collecting data on your interactions.
Makes sense.
So, that's something to be aware of.
Absolutely. But the good news is that Inflection AI is very upfront about this.
Oh, good.
And they're working to address it.
Okay.
So they're constantly improving Pi's accuracy,
Uh-huh.
and they give you control over your data.
Like, what can you do?
You can delete your account or export your conversations if you want.
So it's about finding that balance between, utilizing the power of AI, still protecting your privacy.
Exactly. And speaking of real-world experiences, the articles also include some pretty amazing user reviews.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it shows how people are actually using and connecting with Pi.
I love it.
There's one review that I thought was really interesting. It's about this person who's using Pi to help people with communication difficulties.
What?
Yeah, they're using it to help people build social skills.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know, right? And then there's another reviewer who described Pi as having this kind and professional presence. And they even said that it could potentially replace Alexa.
That's high praise.
I know, right. But what's so fascinating is that a lot of these reviews highlight this emotional connection that people are forming with Pi.
Interesting.
It's not just seen as a tool, it's seen as a companion, a confidant, almost like a friend.
A friend that's powered by AI.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So it sounds like Pi's tapping into something pretty powerful here. And I think for small business owners, especially those who are feeling overwhelmed or maybe just need a sounding board,
Yeah,
it's definitely worth checking out.
for sure. If you're even a little bit curious about what AI can do for you and your business, you should give Pi a try.
Absolutely. You might be surprised by what you discover.
I think so too. All right, so we've talked about what Pi is and how it works. But let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
How can small business owners actually use Pi in their everyday lives?
That's a great question. And that's what we're going to dig into next. It's pretty amazing to think about all the ways that Pi could actually be used.
Yeah, so let's imagine I'm a small business owner.
Okay.
How can I actually use Pi to, like make my life easier, to be more productive, and maybe even have a little fun along the way?
Well, I think one of the most obvious places to start would be with content creation.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Let's say you need to write a blog post or newsletter, or even just like a really catchy caption for your latest Instagram photo.
Yeah?
Pi can help you generate ideas, refine your writing, and even adapt its tone and style to match your brand.
Okay, so it's like having a copywriter on call.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
What about research?
Oh, research is a huge one for me.
Yeah.
I'm always like spending hours digging through articles and reports, just trying to stay up to date.
Trying to stay ahead of the game.
Exactly.
Good.
So can Pi help with that?
I think so. You can ask it specific questions,
Yeah.
and it'll pull information from this massive database of knowledge.
Oh, wow. So it's like having a research assistant who's always on hand.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It can summarize key points for you, highlight important trends, and even, answer specific questions.
That would be a game changer for a lot of businesses.
Especially for small business owners who are already wearing so many hats.
Exactly. And what about those times when, I'm feeling stuck creatively?
Oh, yeah.
I just need a fresh perspective.
Uh-huh.
Can Pi help with brainstorming?
Definitely Pi's like the ultimate brainstorming partner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can just bounce ideas off of it, ask it to, generate different perspectives. And it can even kind of like challenge your assumptions a little bit.
So it's like having a, built-in business consultant.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Always on call 24/7.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about those more practical aspects of running a business?
Okay.
Like managing tasks and, just staying organized?
Pi can totally help with that too.
Awesome.
Think of it as your like personal assistant.
Oh, cool.
You can set reminders, create to-do lists, manage your calendar, schedule meetings.
So Pi can basically keep me from dropping the ball.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having that extra brain helping you stay on top of everything.
I think I need that.
I think we all do.
Okay. So we've talked about Pi as, this amazing content creator and researcher,
Right.
brainstorming partner and personal assistant.
Uh-huh.
But we can't forget that it also has this emotional support side,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
which is something that I'm, really curious about.
Right.
Because running a business can be so emotionally draining.
Totally. There are going to be times when you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or even just lonely.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Pi can really come in and make a difference.
Okay. So how does that work?
Well, you can literally talk to Pi about what's going on,
Okay.
and it'll listen. It'll offer words of encouragement.
It sounds like having a therapist in your pocket.
Well, it's not a therapist, of course.
Right.
But it can be that supportive presence that's always there to listen without judgment.
I think that's so important, especially for small business owners who are, they're working long hours and they're just facing so much pressure.
Totally. I mean, it's like having a supportive friend
Yeah.
or a mentor who's always available to listen and offer a different perspective.
All right, so Pi's sounded pretty amazing right now.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But before we go any further, I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Which is, AI safety and ethics.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't want to get too deep into that right now.
Right.
But are there any, red flags or concerns that small business owners should be aware of?
That's a great question. And, I think it's totally natural to be a little wary of AI, especially when we're talking about such personal information.
For sure.
But the good news is that Inflection AI has been very transparent about their commitment to, responsible AI development.
Yeah.
And they built safeguards into Pi to prevent it from generating harmful or offensive content.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it comes down to the user,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We need to be mindful of Pi's limitations.
Yeah.
Not take everything it says as gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And, always use our own judgment.
For sure. I mean, it's a tool. It's a powerful tool, but it's still a tool.
Right. So, on that note, I think it's time to shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And talk about that other aspect of Pi that really sets it apart.
Yeah.
Its ability to provide emotional support.
Mm.
Because as we've been talking about,
Yeah.
running a business can be a real roller coaster of emotions.
Absolutely. And I think people sometimes don't fully realize how much it can impact their mental health.
Yeah, it can be a lonely road sometimes.
Yeah.
You're making tough decisions, facing constant pressure.
It's true.
And it often feels like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
I think that's where Pi's focus on emotional connection could really change things.
So it can actually help.
Yeah. Those user reviews we looked at?
They really highlight how people are connecting with Pi.
Really connecting.
Yeah, like confiding in it, seeking encouragement, even finding some comfort just from being able to talk to it.
Huh. So it's like having a therapist you can access 24/7.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
Pi is not a replacement for professional help,
Okay.
but it can be a really good supplement, a supportive friend who's always there to listen without judgment.
So, if you're having a rough day feeling overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and you just need to vent.
Exactly. Pi can be that outlet.
Okay.
And even offer, encouragement or a helpful perspective.
I think that's what's so interesting about Pi.
Yeah.
Especially for small business owners. Because they are working long hours, facing a lot of stress.
It's true.
And to have that, supportive presence.
Yeah.
Like a friend, a mentor, even a virtual therapist.
That's always available right there in your pocket.
Exactly. That's powerful.
It is. And it might seem weird at first.
To talk to an AI? Yeah, to confide in an AI. But Pi is designed to have these human-like conversations and to really build that rapport.
I see.
It learns from your interactions, remembers your preferences.
So it gets to know you.
Yeah, and it adapts its responses to what you need.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Pi,
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Yeah.
I think that's a great message for our listeners.
I agree. The world of personal AI, it's still really new. There's so much we're learning about what it can do.
So we just need to dive in.
Yeah. The best way to understand Pi is to just try it out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Yeah.
How it can support your business, your well-being. Maybe even spark new ideas and opportunities you haven't even thought of.
For sure.
So for all of our listeners who are curious about Pi, we'll include links to their website and the app in the show notes.
Great idea.
So you can easily download it and start exploring.
And this is really just the beginning.
It feels like it.
Things are changing so fast in the AI world.
It's true.
So it's important to stay curious, stay informed.
Yeah.
And who knows what incredible new tools we'll have,
in the future.
Yeah, in the very near future.
It's an exciting time to be an entrepreneur.
That's for sure.
So as always, we want to hear from you.
Yes.
Let us know about your experiences with Pi.
Yeah. What are your AI discoveries?
What are you finding out there?
We love hearing from our listeners.
So keep innovating, keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep pushing those boundaries.
Of what's possible.
And thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Pi.
Yeah, this was fun.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating topic and another deep dive.
See?